up, everybody? Welcome back to One More Guitar. Thanks for checking out the video. My name is Kyle and I really appreciate you coming and hanging out today. So what I'm going to do today is show you one of my favorite pedals that I've picked up recently, and also one of the cheapest pedals that I've ever picked up. We're going to take a look at the Black Secret by Mooer. This is based on a Rat pedal, and it is quickly becoming one of my favorite pedals. I love this thing. So what we're going to do today is just turn the knobs, go through it. I'll play through it with a single coil guitar and with some humbuckers, and we'll just see what the thing sounds like. So let's get going. Before I go play around with this thing, let's talk about what it is. The Black Secret is modeled after the Proco Rat series, and this pedal actually comes with two different versions of the Rat inside of it. There's a switch on the top that allows you to switch from vintage mode, which gives you a more classic Rat sound, to turbo mode, which emulates a turbo Rat, which came out later, I think in the early 90s. So pretty cool that they've given you two different Rat pedals here in one. So this is a mini pedal, obviously, and it's got a metal enclosure and a metal foot switch, but the knobs on here are plastic. It's got a large knob for the distortion, and this makes it pretty easy to change the distortion amount with your foot while you're playing, so that's pretty nice. And it's got two smaller knobs, one for the level and then one for a filter. And we'll go over the filter while we're playing and see what kind of effect that has on the tone. It has the jacks on the sides, and it runs on a 9-volt power supply that's on the top. Now let's go check out what it sounds like. Heck yeah. I love the way this pedal sounds. Alright, now let's just start turning the distortion knob and see what that sounds like. Alright, I think it's got a good sound all the way around. So I think I'll leave the distortion right there for the rest of the video until we get to the humbucker guitar, then we'll play around with it again. But for now, let's move on to the filter knob and see how that affects the sound. So right now we've got it right about in the middle. I might be off center just a little bit here, but let's see what the filter does. So to my ear, it sounds like the filter is cutting the treble out. It may be doing more than that, but that's really the effect I'm getting out of it here. So if we roll it all the way to the right, you know, there's very little treble in this sound. I'm curious how that will sound with the distortion rolled up. I know I just said I wasn't going to change it, but I'm about to change it. All right. So with the filter all the way up and the distortion turned up, let's see what that sounds like. So I feel like this sound's probably going to be a little more useful in maybe a metal context. And those of you who watch the channel know I don't play a lot of metal, so I'm probably not going to be able to demo that for you very well, but I do hear it, and I hear the sound that I'm getting out of this pedal, and I've heard that in metal music before, so you know, you may like this if you like, you know, that kind of, you know, no treble, you know, chuggy kind of sound. Something again that I can't demo very well, but I think this pedal is going to do it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is roll the filter back down to something that I would use, and I'm going to roll the distortion back down to the level I was at. Sounds a lot quieter in the room now. All right, so there we are with the filter turned up to about 3 o'clock. And as you roll it down, you get more highs, and it's got a little bit more snap to it too. So let's go ahead and turn it down the other way and see if it opens it up even more. All right, so we're at about 9 o'clock now. Let's see what that sounds like. So just as I expected, when I roll the filter down, you're getting a lot more coming through. So when I turn the filter off, you know, I'm getting more frequency through. Alright, so I want to try one more thing before we switch over to a guitar with humbuckers. I'm going to turn on the turbo switch, and what this does is it makes this pedal sound like a different Rat pedal. So at some point in time, Rat came out with a version called the Turbo Rat, and that's what this is trying to emulate here. So here it is without the turbo switch turned on, just for reference. And with the turbo switch. Man, that thickened it up a little bit. This thing was under 50 bucks. I mean, holy crap. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's grab a guitar with humbuckers and see what it sounds like with that, because this is killer. Okay, I grabbed a guitar with humbuckers. I decided to go with the Gibson Les Paul Studio because this is one of my newer guitars and I just wanted to play around with it some. But I also think this guitar sounds really good with this pedal. It's got some hotter output pickups in it, and so I just thought it was a good choice. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I did with the other guitar. I'll play it clean for a second, kick the pedal on so you can hear what that sounds like, and then we'll start turning knobs so we can see what it sounds like with humbuckers. So let's check this out. Man, I love the way it sounds with humbuckers too. This is a kick-ass pedal, it really is. It's awesome. I can't believe how cheap it was, honestly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just start turning the distortion knob a little bit so we can hear what it sounds like with these humbuckers. So let's just mess around some. Man, that's a lot of fun. Alright, the last thing I want to do today is mess with the turbo switch with humbuckers, so let's check that out. Here it is in vintage mode. And here we go, turbo. Alright, now let's turn the pedal off for a second and play clean, and then we'll kick it back on with the turbo mode turned on to see what that sounds like. So let's check this out. Alright, well, I don't think there's going to be a lot of surprises in the final thoughts, but let's go talk about it anyway. Alright, so let me give you my final thoughts on the Mooer Black Secret. I've probably spoiled the ending already because I've said several times throughout this video how much I love this pedal, but I really do love the way it sounds. I feel like as you turn the distortion knob around, all of the gain tones that you get out of this pedal are usable, even when you've got it maxed out. And when you use the filter knob and go all the way to the right, you get a nice chuggy sound that's probably going to be good for metal music. And as you go back to the left, it adds in some more treble, makes it a little bit brighter, and gives you a good, aggressive, kind of in-your-face gain sound. And I think it sounds awesome. Another thing I really like about the pedal is the turbo switch. When you flick that on, it makes it even fatter and makes it even more aggressive. So between that and the filter and the distortion, I feel like this is a very versatile pedal. It sounds good with high gain and with lower gain. So I'm really digging it. I think my favorite part about those got to be the fact that I paid less than $50 for it. It's a great pedal. And I'm not going to say it's a good pedal for $50. What I'll say is that it's a great pedal and it only costs $50. So I was really impressed with that. If you're interested in checking this pedal out, I'll put an affiliate link in the description. That's a good way to support the channel without any extra cost to you. So if you do that, I really do appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you guys for coming and hanging out today. I hope you liked the video. If so, leave me a like. And until next time, take it easy and keep playing.